and he walked away. I hope that his mommy was close by, but I didn't see her. So, hey, everyone. I was just telling Dr. Amy about the moose this morning when I got up to ride my bike. I came in to grab my book and my glasses from over there. And when I walked in, there was a baby moose. Well, he was this year a yearling, right? So he was probably born March, April, Mayish, and he was licking the rock on our house, and he just kind of looked at me, and I looked at him, and I snapped some pictures, and he kind of, didn't really care and walked away. And I watched him for a while, and then he walked down. My husband dug a pond in the backyard, and it's amazing how many more moose we've had since he dug that pond. So at any rate, life in Alaska, right? Which is way different than life where you are. Amy, where are you joining us from today?
Mississippi.
Mississippi. Is that home to you? Were you born and raised there?
Yes.
You are. Okay. And your husband too?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, there's our good friend, Heather. Heather, so good to see you, doll. Thanks for sharing with us today and joining us. All right. So we're going to jump right in. And the reason that Amy and I are meeting together today with all of you, we want you to participate by making comments, is because, one of the greatest joys of my life is being a mom, and now being a grandma is like even over the top that much more, right? And, I've always been amazed how, number one, easy it is, but how often I see moms using their children as the excuse for not growing their practice, using their children as the excuse for not being able to pay off their student loans, using their children as the excuse for why we can't take vacations, using their children as the excuse for why they're not living their best life. And what I mean by using their children as their excuse is, oh, I'm a mom, so I'm not busy in practice. I'm a mom, so I don't do networking. I'm a mom, so all of these things. And I want to just do a shout out to all the moms. Knock it off. And Amy and I are going to give you not necessarily strategies and solutions today, because I think that interferes with your own genius. Like, we all have the answers within. We just have to get rid of the stuff in order for that genius to come through. And so what Amy's going to be sharing with us today is, how do you come off maternity leave and kill it in practice during a pandemic? So tell us your story, Amy.
So when the pandemic first started, my practice hit like rock bottom. Like single digits in a week, patient visits, rock bottom. Like nobody came out of their house in our area. It was crazy. So when kind of the initial quarantine ended, I was 9 months pregnant and I didn't take any new patients. Like I just couldn't. So I went on maternity leave, spent a 7-week maternity leave, and then came back, and my schedule, I was trying to fit people in safely. This whole COVID rules and stuff is crazy. But I was trying to fit people in. There were just no spots. Scheduling people out 2 weeks out. It's still very packed now. I don't have time to breathe when I'm at work.
That is awesome. And isn't that the way we all want to practice? I've done over 700 either phone calls or Zoom calls in 4 years with chiropractors from all over the world. And one of the things I routinely hear is, I just want to be busy when I'm in my office. I don't want to have downtime. In the boot camp, we call it no white spaces. If I'm away from my family, I want to be there and serve, which is exactly what you've created. Like, when I'm away from my family, I'm serving my people, right? Mm-hmm. And I know I'm getting kind of fired up about it today. And it's because of this, because we don't have to live small. As moms, we're even more required. As dads, we're even more required to live big. So I want all of you to just remember that our mind houses the blueprint for our reality. So if we just try to start changing how we do things without changing our mindset, we get pulled back because of our survival constraints and our blueprint, right? So we've got to change this first in order for our reality to change. Like the recipe for the life you want to live is here. And therefore, if you're not liking the results in your life, we got to go here. So Amy, let's talk about mindset. And it's not just a bunch of mantras, right? Because I could say all kinds of things. And if I don't believe them, I'm not going to take action on them, right? So how do you do motherhood and your husband's in the military and you have a busy practice and there's COVID and like what's the biggest thing that you notice you do differently and you are differently in order to have this amazing life and mom to a special needs child too, right?
Hmm. I'm intentional with my time. I don't have I can't remember the time I watched a full movie on TV in one sitting. Like I don't sit, I don't stay still. I'm constantly go 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 to get things done, um, and to keep my kids busy and happy. Um, I'm very very intentional, and I schedule things intentionally to kind of bring quality to our life instead of a whole bunch of downtime.
Nice. And so you hit on a really important topic about mindset, and that's time. So I want to share with all of you, you cannot waste time. You cannot waste time, and there is never a point in which you don't have time. We're all given the same measure every day, the same amount we've ever been given. So to have the mindset of, oh, I don't want to waste time, it's not an option. It's going anyway. Just like Amy said, I'm very intentional. I'm very intentional about how I use my minutes. So does that make you feel like you're rigid?
No, because I still have plenty of time to. I love to read. So I make time in the evenings when the kids are in bed to read. That's sort of my downtime hour, no matter what I'm reading.
Mm.
Um, so that's what I'm very intentional. So it makes me kind of fill my cup when I read. So I intentionally put time for myself in there. So it's not just go, 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 go all the time. It's I'm putting everyday time aside for me so I don't lose my mind.
And you're not expecting somebody else to come along and do it for you. You're instead saying, okay, these are the things that I want in my life. Like, I want to have children. I want to have a solid marriage. I want to have a strong spiritual life. I want my practice to fund our ideal lifestyle. I don't want my husband to be paying for everything such that my chiropractic practice becomes a hobby, right? Like, I don't think that feels good to any woman. And any woman who's watching this right now, and that's the situation that we're in, that you're in, we need to talk because that shift and that transition starts here. Your husband wants you to be a partner, not because, like, oh, here, carry some of the load. You have a really expensive career. You have a really expensive education that can change the world. Every single one of us who's a chiropractor has the opportunity to change the world. And I'm telling you, it doesn't take more than what you're doing now because the time is there. We all have 24 hours today. It's not going to take you any more time to be successful. Would you agree with me?
Yeah.
And what is the biggest, like, if you pull a lever every day in order to enjoy being a mom, right? In order to find joy in being a chiropractor and a business owner, what's the biggest lever you pull in order to get that experience?
Oh, that's a hard question. um. Oh, geez. Hmm. Give me some examples.
Um, so I find a lot of joy, like you, in being intentional because that does give me the space for free time, whether it's free time to bike in the morning while I do my Bible study, or that's the free time for my husband and I to do Alaskan stuff, or one of our other businesses. Is when I'm intentional, that frees up space. And when I have freedom of space and just freedom in general, that brings me joy. Just like in raising kids, because I was so intentional, we got to do more things, right? Because it didn't take forever. I required that they participate in put on your shoes, take the trash out of the car, put your own dishes away. And so it was very intentional, which then gave us space, which then led to joy.
Mm-hmm. We are really intentional about our outdoor time. We're pretty outdoorsy, kind of like you are in Alaska, but your scenery is much more beautiful than I love your scenery pictures. But the kids love outdoors, and it helps my special needs child a whole bunch to self-regulate. And when he's able to self-regulate better because he's been outdoors, then our entire family can function on a better level. So it's not just revolved around him and his issues, and my other kids like it too. Even the baby, he loves outdoors. He loves outdoors more than he loves indoors. So we're very intentional about that. It kind of helps
and so
go around.
When that thought comes to your mind of, oh, we don't have time to go outside, is that the nudge to you that says, oh no, we're going right now? Like when I think I can't, I must.
There's no time to go outside. That doesn't exist in my world. Even if it's a backyard, because our fenced in backyard, we're going outside, whether it's to the front yard. We don't always have to go to the nature park. We don't always have to go to the park. We don't always have to go somewhere to enjoy the outdoors. We can walk out the door and enjoy outdoors.
That's right. Open the door and walk out. And has there ever been a time that you came back in from being outside going, wish I hadn't done that?
No.
Never, right? Never. That's never happened. I feel the same way. There's never been a time that I've gone for a walk or a hike and be like, don't know why I wasted my time doing that. I've always been like, oh my gosh, this was so awesome. I want to do more of it, right? For sure. It's kind of like, obviously in the boot camp, we're doing the first visit contest. And I've really been emphasizing to new doctors and students to be participating. Because, in my 22 years in this profession, I have yet to hear one person say, doggone it, I wish I hadn't prepared so much for when I opened my new practice. That has never happened. No one has ever regretted being prepared, right? Or being prepared even each day when you're in practice versus days we show up and it's just like, oh, everything's all over the place. Every single one of us feels way better when we're prepared and when we're intentional. So can we brag just a little bit about exactly what you've done? So I got this message from Amy. I thought I would take it easy after returning from maternity leave. Nope. Surpassed my goal of patient visits and hit a pretty big goal of new practice members. I haven't hit these numbers since before COVID. I was able to replenish my savings from maternity leave and take a big sigh of relief. Hit these 3 big goals, which I thought were big, and I'm in the office less than 15 hours per week. Definitely no white spaces. Yay! I love that. And, I just recorded a video today about living radical authenticity. Whether that means you're in the office 15 hours a week or you're in the office 50 hours a week, living a life of radical authenticity. And that's exactly what you're doing. You've created the life that serves you well, and your practice funds your ideal lifestyle in order to be with your children. So as we wrap this up, what words of encouragement do you want to give to the mamas who are watching right now that are they're just in the thick of it?
You are not alone.
You are not
You are
alone.
breathe and set the goals you really want, and even if it's a small one, and take that one step at a time, and you will get there if you just keep going.
Absolutely. And to make sure that you're not alone, let's talk about the boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have the choice. We can struggle alone, or we can enroll in a group of like-minded individuals. And I want to remind all of you that today is the last day to save $150 on your women's mind, body, spirit boot camp and retreat tickets. We're going to be on the Gulf of Mexico, October 9th and 10th. There's a CE portion all about caring for women's health issues in your practice. And then the next day on Saturday, my coach and I, Demi, are taking you through soul purpose. And soul purpose, it's kind of like, if you don't know your purpose, how will you live on purpose? You know, our profession talks a lot about being on purpose and being on purpose and being on purpose. And yet I find very few who really even know what their soul purpose is. And the reason we don't know what our soul purpose is we're just spinning around all of the time in all of these thought cycles, which then lead to survival constraints, which holds us back from being our, living radical authenticity and being our very best. And it's not because anyone's bad. It's not because they're slackers. It's we've developed these habits that we don't know how to break the cycle of. It's like the number of times I talk to individuals who are like, I just wish I could get out of my own way. And I've never really understood what that meant until now doing this work to understand survival constraints. And survival constraints come in the form of perfectionism, introvert, extrovert, looking to make other people wrong, looking um, to be needed, looking to like get all of these needs met, and the needs aren't met, but the needs have become a survival constraint in order to keep us in a place where we don't have to experience pain. But then in that place, we're not our authentic selves, and we're not living our best life and in soul purpose. And so I invite you, I'll make sure the link goes below. Check it out. Like, read through the whole landing page. It will be unbelievable. We're going to be at a state park. We'll be a mile from the beach. There's 6,000 acres at this state park. It's beautiful. It's down in Amy's area. Beautiful weather, warm. So please come, be rejuvenated, be recharged, be with like-minded women. This is a women's only event, which is kind of cool. Like, we can just like take off some of the masks and really just peel back the layers and be free in order to investigate who we are at the core and to bring that out to play on a permanent basis. So, Amy, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. Congratulations to you. I'm so proud of you. Give each one of those babies a kiss for me, okay?
I will.
Thanks, Amy. See you, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.